Kara from the Pure Rock Shop, and today we have Glam from the Norwegian rock band Wig Wam with us today. Thanks for joining us, Glam.
Hello. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So happy to chat with you today. I have heard your band over the years. You guys were in our radio playlist back when I was doing radio, and so I'm a little bit familiar
Okay.
with the music, but I've never had a chance to see you guys live. And I know that you were supposed to be at the Rock Island Fest this month.
Yeah.
Just got back from that marathon of coverage of bands down in Florida. Wanted to get the scoop on why you guys weren't able to join.
Yeah. Because we haven't received our working visas yet, so we
Okay.
still haven't.
Oh,
So
wow.
obviously couldn't go down there to play
Yeah.
on tourist visas.
Okay.
So that's why everything has been postponed, and unfortunately, Rock Island can't be postponed. So hopefully we'll be able to get there next time. Then.
I hope
So.
so, sure. So I
Yeah, we
know,
would love to be there, and I heard that Vince Neil too couldn't make it. So
yes, Vince was ill with COVID, so we're wishing him the best with his recovery because I know they've
and
got some
we had the
Motley.
same thing. We were supposed to go to Australia, and then Toronto, our guitar player got COVID. So it's been one hell of a year so far.
Oh, wow. Yeah, everything seems to be tentative these days. So
Yeah, yeah.
I know that you guys also have plans to play at the Monsters of Rock cruise. Do you anticipate that happening? Do you need the same visas to get over here for that event in
No, no, no,
April?
no. So, but if they can't, if if they can't make our visas before we travel to the US in mid-April,
Hmm.
then something must be terribly wrong with your country. So
Well,
then you guys don't want Norwegian rockers to play on your soil. But on the Monsters of Rock cruise, you don't need a working visa because it's international ground. So
okay.
we're not gonna play in America. We're gonna play in
Right. You're going to
Norway
play in
then.
the
So
ocean somewhere, in the middle of the
yeah, yeah.
ocean. So,
That's why so many great bands from all around the world can come there without paying for the visas. So that's a great thing about Monsters of Rock.
yeah,
But
excellent.
we are so much looking forward to coming over to play. All those great places we've only heard about, and sometimes
Mhm.
seen on TV.
Right,
In the
right.
US, like the Tower Theater in Fresno and Whiskey Go Go, and so we're
Sure.
really looking forward to do that. So, and we have never played in the US before. I've done one gig with Ammunition in Chicago,
Okay.
Rock and Skull,
Yeah.
outside of Chicago,
Hmm.
but this is gonna be our first Wig Wam tour in the US. So we are
Oh, how
very,
exciting.
very much looking forward to it.
So, for those who are not familiar with Wigwam, give us a little bit of the band's history. I know you guys were together, a few decades ago, and then you broke up for a little while. Fill us in on the
Yep.
band members and the history of your band.
We started up more or less as a jam band back in the days in 2000. Um, we had never played together before. I played with a bass player for some shows in the early 90s, a show that we used to call Rock and Roll Adventure, just spinning through, the history of rock, kind of.
Okay.
And before that, he played in a band called Arch, and my band was from the same town, and we used to open for these guys. They were a bit older than us, and kind of the kings of our town. So
Okay.
they were great. And then we met, in this jam band project in a town called Halden in Norway.
Okay.
Just a regular jam band, having fun, playing old tunes, old cover songs. But then all of a sudden, somebody gave us a gig at this 80s party, 80s theme party. And before going there, and before playing, I told the guys, we need to change the name of the band. We can't be called the Absolute Friday Band. That was what we were called. And maybe we should try a gimmick or something, because back then I was producing music shows. I'd
Okay.
given up on my career because, for crying out loud, I was very old. I was, I had passed 30 years, so I was extremely old, too old to have a career. So my focus was to produce different music entertainment shows, like the
Okay.
Creedence Clearwater band called Creedence Clearwater Arrival,
Okay.
and the
Okay.
Eagles show that I produced with Jorn, Jorn Lande. He was one of the singers, and I was the producer. Didn't even sing a tune. I was only producing it. So I thought this might be, kind of, a music thing we could do, a show we could do, for the corporation parties and stuff like that.
Okay.
But happened to, people really got into it, and we were kind of like Steel Panther.
Okay.
Yeah, so everything was kind of irony and tongue in cheek, and we had this funny story about us originally coming from New York, the Polish quarter of Brooklyn, called Bronx with a Set, and that we did so badly, and our records didn't sell, and we were drug addicts, so we moved to Norway and took Norwegian names like Trond, Åge, Øystein, and Bernt. But in 2001, we did a comeback, and we took our old names, our real names, Glam, Flash, Teen, and Spotty, and we put together the band again and played here in Norway, and we had great fun and for many years. And then we started to feel like making original songs, not just being this typical party band, So, and so we decided to record our first album. It was done on a cracked Cubase. Most of the vocals were done in Tron and his former wife's bedroom. So, great time. And we released 667, the Neighbor of the Beast. And then, slowly we developed into what we're today. And, in 2013, we had been touring too much. We were kind of, we were done with each other. So I just packed my bags and told the guys, we're over. Didn't talk to them for many years. And suddenly after many years, Tron and I met. Actually, I was curious about how he was doing, so I went to see one of his old bands, Dream Police. They had a gig close to where I lived, so I was standing there in the back, behind the mixer, and then with a hat and beard and everything. And he spotted me, obviously, because I was invited backstage, and I met him there. And from there, we started to hang, and we started to, become good friends again, and decided to do a comeback.
So I know you guys have some pretty gimmicky videos, pretty entertaining to watch. Is that what we can expect from your stage show as well?
Oh yeah, we like to put on a show, so we're not the guys who will just stand around and watch the audience and watch each other. We like to jump around and do stuff. Sometimes during a solo, Bernt and Tron will spin around, like like some kind of Tivoli act. And, we have lots of fun. Yeah.
Awesome. So I know you guys have a brand new album coming out this month on Frontiers. Tell us a little bit about Out of the Dark.
Out of the Dark is, pretty much continued when we had recorded Never Say Die, last record, the comeback album. We just continued from there, and in the same vein, kind of, and the first song to be written was actually the title track, Out of the Dark. So pretty early on, we decided this was going to be the title track. It's a great title for an album, especially when things were getting a bit lighter for us and easier. But the first 4 or 5 songs that we recorded and wrote for this album was pretty, the same nature as Never Say Die, but you can easily hear some of the songs were created after the Peacemaker success and when we were getting more into, the more sunny side of life. And, some of the songs you can actually feel, the same feeling that we had from the, the first albums, like Bad Luck Chuck and songs like that.
So tell us a little bit about how you guys ended up on the Peacemaker show on HBO. How did that come to be?
Actually, we just received a mail from a sync company in the US, requesting some stems, the layers, guitar parts and drum parts, everything
Okay.
separated. For Do You Want to Taste It? And In My Dreams, that they were thinking about using for something they couldn't tell us what it was. So we thought it might be a commercial or something. Just imagine McDonald's. Do you really want to taste it? Yeah. McDonald's, something like that. And we thought, wow, cool. That would be great promotion.
Right.
But then later, when they had found out that they really wanted to use both songs, both In My Dreams and Do You Want to Taste It, and they offered us some information about the whole purpose, and James Gunn being there and the Peacemaker stuff. We weren't familiar with that stuff at all.
Okay. So I'm guessing that now, that your song is on that show, you've got a new audience coming around working with, a show that Jon Cena's on and DC Comics, right?
Yep.
What's that been like for you? There must be, a whole generation of fans coming to check out your music.
Yeah, but it's kind of strange, the whole situation, because had this happened in 2017 or 18, even 2019, we would have been all over the place already. But
Right.
This happened when the pandemic was still kind of limiting bands, and kind of strange situation with promoters and touring companies being broke and everything, and people not being used to go to live shows yet, and shows that has been booked for a couple of years that was full 2 years ago. They have just moved now, so to create new arrangements on the same dates when you have all those packed venues from before, So it's tough competition, man. It's tough. It's a tough period. So at one side, it's like the massive success. Like, wow, how could this happen? And on the other hand, the difficult situation where it's so hard to even get going and to build on what just happened. So it's of course we wouldn't have been without the promotion that the Peacemaker has given, but at the same time, we would have loved it to be an easier world without the war in Ukraine.
My country won't let you. My country won't let you in yet, so that's a big problem, right? You can't get in the U.S. to perform, so
because the lines are crazy, So but we know we're getting in now. But we were so positive when we actually thought we were going to play in July. So Arm Entertainment, they had actually booked us there for a tour with Lita Ford and Winger in July.
Yeah.
But that was like no chance in the world, So they thought, let's do it later in the fall. But now let's wait until January. Then it's safe. Yeah. So what?
Well, hopefully, you'll get that all worked out soon, and then you can come over here and take advantage of the newfound fame.
Yeah. We're so much looking forward to seeing, the American fans and because in the States, people have they didn't even knew that we existed,
Right.
And when they got to know us, we had a big back catalog and a pretty new album as well. And here's another new one. So we're working our asses off, and we are just doing our best, and it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, I think it's a good time to introduce yourselves to people in the U.S., especially the younger generation. There's such a resurgence of rock music now with TV shows like Stranger Things. The teenagers want to hear Metallica now, and are listening to those old soundtracks and discovering older music. So having that same hard rock sound, I think that it's a really good time for you guys to come over and make a name for yourselves here. Well, I thank you so much for joining us today and chatting with me. And I look forward to seeing you on the Monsters of Rock cruise. Definitely be there and get to check you guys out live finally.
Yeah, hope we won't disappoint. We know what we're able to do.
Yeah.
We're old dinosaurs. We've been doing this for ages, so we're gonna kick some ass.
Awesome.
Sure.
Well, thank you. Take care.
See you down there. Bye.
Goodbye.